Sorry.
No problem. Not a big problem. I just know that because my son does that to me when we're talking. He calls from his car.
I live on the road. If it wasn't for a car and Zoom and screens, I would never catch a meeting.
Okay. Okay, get rid of that. Give me 2 minutes and then we'll be ready to rock and roll. Okay, let's jump in and get started here. Got a lot of stuff to cover today. So first of all, do we have anybody new joining us today? Don't think so. Yvette, do we know you?
I am Michelle's office assistant, Michelle Simon. So
Got it.
I work with the Office of Digital Inclusion. So she asked me to sit in today.
Okay, now we know who you are. Thank you. Anybody else joining us today that's new? RJ, I don't think you've been here before, have you?
Good morning. I've been in the meetings, I haven't joined in a while.
Okay. You want to just introduce yourself real quickly?
Yeah, sure. I'm a virtual Chief Information Security Officer with Hojo Cybersecurity. We offer managed cyber security solutions for tribal governments.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, welcome everybody. Let's jump in and get started with the meeting today. And do this. Okay. So first of all, as always, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Care First Health Plan, Karen Ziegler Consulting Services, Valley Telecom, Khajiit, and Triad Wireless. Thank you guys. Appreciate your continued support. I want to, excuse me, just remind you that a lot of the things that we discussed today are usually in my newsletter, either in the current one or the one that I'll be sending out after this meeting, has all the links, times, contact information, and all of that sort of thing. So while I know people post it in the chat, and I also send the chat, but you'll also find it in the newsletter. So I try to make it easy to find all the information. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the agenda, and that's the wrong date, but that's all right. So Sandeep, I saw that you were online. Do you want to kick off with a quick update?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sandeep Bhawmik, State Broadband Director here at Arizona Commerce Authority State Broadband Office. Last week was really eventful for us. I would let Erin provide better update. We traveled all over the state, especially the northern side of Arizona, and hold multiple roundtables, town halls, and meeting with public and government officials. Aside from that, this is our third week of the challenge process. We are receiving challenge from multiple entities. All those challenges are currently live, which is accepted by the State Broadband Office on the broadband map. The challenge process webinars are still happening this month. I think it's on 16th, if I'm not wrong, for 4 different groups, for nonprofits, ISPs, local government, and the tribal government. We will conclude the challenge process after 60 days since the opening. So I would highly encourage everyone who is still planning to submit the challenge, please submit the challenge. And if you need any assistance with the challenge, there are office hours. You can directly go to our website and book the office hours from there. Other than that, in the background, we just closed an RFQ, currently going through an evaluation. We'll be selecting contractors who will be helping us for the final plan. And also we are running some numbers to decide how to select the project area. So that's the overall update we have on our side, Steve.
Okay, well, so we also have a big announcement from the feds. Sandeep, you want to talk about that?
That is actually, I want to keep that for Erin. She is
Okay.
basically the architect for that. And because of her effort and her leadership, we reached at the end point. So I want to keep that for her.
Okay, sounds good. Always good to see you, Sandeep.
Thank you.
So with that, I guess we're going to go on to Erin.
Well, with that introduction, we found out
Erin, can you introduce yourself, please?
Of course. My name is Erin. I am the Digital Equity Program Manager at ACA. And so the biggest news for us here in Arizona is that our digital equity plan was finally accepted by NTIA. And so we're very excited. That allows us to move into the next phase of the process. And that was the capacity grant NOFO being dropped on Friday. So we are still in the process of looking at that from the state perspective. We have 60 days to apply for that. And so any stakeholder next steps will be laid out in our application, and subgrantees, et cetera, will find out more information as we figure it out into the future. So at this point, it's all on our office to apply for the capacity funding. We ended up with an allocation of just over $16 million, which is maybe a little less than we thought we were going to get just by the back of the envelope math that had been floating around. But we're looking forward to to working with all of the stakeholders in this group and across the state to implement that digital equity plan that we got approved. And
Okay.
I guess I can say a little bit more about last week. Kelly is also here, our engagement manager, so I'm not sure if she has anything to add to that, but it was a lot of fun. It was a great success. We learned a lot about our communities, of course, but also how to best provide this information to them. So we look forward to spending time in the rest of the state over the rest of the year.
Okay.
Yeah, and if it's okay, Steve, I'll say a few things. My name is Kelly. I'm the new Broadband Community Engagement Manager. I will plug my email into the chat. We are taking a look at last week and the engagement events that we had and looking at what worked well and what we can do to improve moving forward. But I'll plug my email in because I am interested in having conversations with other areas. So we did North and Northeast last week of Arizona, and we are looking in the upcoming months. And really, I think before September, trying to visit every other county and get really in Arizona. So I do want to plug my email in because I want to have conversations and see where we can go to really try and reach everyone. So I'll plug that into the chat right now.
Okay, and just FYI, that I do include that, include her email in, and actually all the contacts for all of the broadband office is included in the email that I send out. So it's there every week. So make it easy for you to find. Okay. All righty, moving on. Anybody else from the broadband office that has anything they want to share this morning? I take that to be a no. Okay.
Steve,
Yes.
I just wanted to know from Erin and Kelly if there were any next steps that we need to prepare for.
Oh, sorry, Mala. I just replied to you in the chat too. So at this stage, it's all on us. It's all on the state broadband office to apply for the capacity funds. As we start to develop that subgrant process and figure out what those next steps are, we will 100% be in contact with everyone, okay?
Okey-doke. All righty, moving on. So, well, let me do this first. So Maggie, I think I saw you online. Do you want to say anything about what's happening with the working groups that you've been working on and anything else?
Thank you. My name's Maggie Ferry. I work for Governor Hobbs out of the Office of Strategic Initiatives, running broadband and digital equity work from her level. So doing a lot of the interagency work, but also working very closely with the State Broadband Office. I think the State Broadband Office did a wonderful job with all of the other updates. Always happy to plug the governor has an interagency and community broadband advisory council. And that advisory council meets quarterly. However, we have public working group meetings that are open to anyone and are virtual every single month. Those meetings cover the topics of infrastructure, digital inclusion, workforce. And then this month we are opening a new working group on broadband and digital equity in tribal communities. The save the date will go out. I have a list of people who are interested. And if you are interested, I can pop my email in the chat. Please feel free to reach out. Those will be the week of April 22nd this month. So look out for those who are already on the listserv, look out for save the date later this afternoon.
Okay, thank you, Maggie. And just a reminder that when I get those dates, that I post them in my email so that you can find the dates and the links and all that kind of good stuff, and encourage you to join the meetings and provide your input. Okay, so a couple of other things. What's the status now? Of course, we're now past April 1 with the RFQ. Sandeep, I don't know if you're still online, or Aaron, or anybody want to talk about what's the status with the RFQ?
So Steve, it's closed. We are currently evaluating the applications.
Okay, thank you. And then before we go on, I just want to make an announcement, and you will all be getting another email from me today immediately after this meeting. But I did include it also in my newsletter that went out yesterday, that as many of you know, that each year the National Digital Inclusion Alliance hosts an awesome National Net Inclusion Conference. And thanks to the great work of Mikhail Sundust, who's the executive director with Digital Connect, which is a Gila River telecommunications project. So the 2025 conference will be in Arizona. Very exciting and very good for Arizona. So we appreciate that work. And so in preparation for that, they want to hear from folks here in Arizona. Angela Seifer and Caitlin Kaveman, I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly, with the National Digital Inclusion Alliance, will be here for that planning meeting, which will be at the Civic Grill on North Loop Road in Phoenix. And you're all encouraged to attend. I don't believe, if I haven't seen anywhere, that there's actually registration, the pre-registration required. Anybody know anything more about that? Anybody want to say?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Oh, Michaela, you're on. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were online. Well, so you should be making this announcement.
Oh, well, no, you did perfectly. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, no registration. Just it's just an open invitation. So go ahead and show up if you can make it.
Okay, thanks, Michaela. It's very exciting. Good work on your part. You always do great work, but this is very exciting for you and for Arizona. So we really appreciate all the work you do. Okay, moving on. Nicole, were you online? I haven't had a chance to check.
I'm here.
Okay. Cool. So Nicole, do you want to add anything more about the NOFO?
Sure. Just a little bit. So as Aaron indicated, this is the State Digital Equity Capacity Grant Program that is available to the states and territories. Well, the territories are still in the process of submitting their final digital equity plans, but for
Actually, excuse me, Nicole, can you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. I'm Nicole Umayam. I'm the Federal Program Officer with the National Telecommunications and Information Administration, NTIA, and I work here in Arizona as the Grants Administrator for the BEAD and Digital Equity Act programs and supporting our other broadband development programs in the state as well. I see Mark is posting some additional updates from NTIA, so I'll leave those to you, but as you know, as we mentioned, the NOFO for the State Digital Equity Capacity Grant was released last week. This is it lists the allocation of funding for states based on the statutory formula for this round of funding to implement all of the goals and activities that were listed in each of these plans. Arizona's allocation is $16,170,760.44. So they will be expected to spend down to that penny. There's not a ton that can be said right now as the application window closes on May 28th, but we do expect to make rolling awards as applications are received. And I know a lot of this group is interested in the competitive grant program because this money is going for states to implement portions of their plan, to issue subgrants, or to make some sort of combination of both of those approaches. And that has to be done consistently with their approved digital equity plan. Right now, Arizona's digital equity plan that's on their website is actually the older draft that was released for public comment. And I believe shortly they will be posting their final approved version, which meets all of the requirements for the plan. And Aaron put a lot of hard work into tweaking and incorporating all of the public comments that were received as well. So the key steps for this group is to really familiarize yourself with Arizona's final digital equity plan once that is approved. Essentially 800 million was available for this round of the capacity grant funding for states. And there's an additional set aside for US territories and a 5% statutory set aside for tribal nations. They have their own application window that will open on September 25th and it will close on February 7th. The 1.25 billion competitive grant, that's the one where all sorts of entities in addition to states are able to apply. So that's, you know, subdivisions of states, native entities, nonprofits, anchor institutions, LEAs, which is our local education agency, you know, all sorts of those types of entities are eligible to apply for the competitive grant program. And that will not be launched until after NTIA makes the first capacity grant awards. So by statute, these things sort of have to be sequenced in a particular way. NTIA did host a informative webinar for applicants, which is to say the states, on Tuesday. I'll share that link unless, let's see a lot of things coming in. Yeah, so it looks like Elena joined on Tuesday and is explaining a little bit about, kind of small for me to see what's going on here. So there's a lot more guidance that will be coming out, but on the subgrantee selection process for the state, but that's really more relevant to Erin and her team. And once they turn in the application, then they can answer a lot more details. But you know, right now it is an open funding window, so we are a little limited in how much we can refer to. Thank you so much, Elena, for putting that in there. Here's the recording link as well. Elena, I do the same thing when I watch webinars. I try to take screenshots for my own notes.
Steve, Mark Goldstein, I'll comment on the two NTIA related things I posted that Nicole acknowledged. Two good steps on the environmental side for BEAD and all other funded grants under the Internet for All program. The NTIA just adopted, I think it was 40 some odd refinements and relaxations in streamlining environmental impact permitting review for Internet for All projects. There's a link to the press release that talks about that. And then a little earlier, about a week and a half ago, they launched a mapping tool for permitting and environmental information. Does have some right-of-way information that's quite useful, and other wetland and other kind of environmental searchable maps in a new, more digestible and usable format than the former US government tools. So 2 environmental steps there.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Any questions for Nicole before we move on? So Sandeep, if you're still there, did you want to introduce your new staff person? Sandeep, you still there? Well, if not, Aaron, do you want to make an introduction, please?
I think Kelly's been here already, right? Or
Yes.
is Jamie here too? I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I
Jamie is
can't
here.
see everybody. Oh,
Jamie
okay.
is
Hi,
here.
Jamie. Well, I'm not sure if I'm the best person to do this. It's usually Sandeep, but Jamie Garrett is with us now in the broadband office. I'll let her do a full introduction, but she is our senior broadband program manager, and she is also a rock star. And so we are thrilled to have her on our team. And Jamie, if you want to say hi and give a little bit more information about yourself, feel free.
Sure. Hi, my name is Jamie Garrett. I am the Senior Broadband Program Manager for BEAD. I come from the telecommunications RF engineering industry with over 10 years experience there in project management through Arizona and other states in the Southwest. So very happy to meet everybody. Look forward to working with you.
Welcome, Jamie. And can you put your email in the chat, please?
Sure.
So I want to remind you folks about 2 things. One is I mentioned that most of the information is provided in my newsletter, but excuse me. Excuse me. So Jamie's contact information will be in there. So also when I send out the newsletter, you may know that I also provide a link. I download the chat because you can't copy it and save it. So I do save the chat, copy it, put it into a document, and make that available also for download. So if you've missed any of this information, any links or anything like that, again, I try to include that in my follow-up newsletter, but you can also find it in the chat. Okay. So with that, Elena, I don't know if we have anything more to talk about with ACP.
No, unfortunately, I did put a couple of links to right at the beginning of the meeting. I can put them in again for anybody who joined late, but both the president and the vice president now are like Hail Mary, last ditch attempts, I guess, to have Congress extend the ACP funds. So there's some Twitter links. I know a lot of you may not be on Twitter, but you can certainly post those in other places. But it would be great to amplify those. So right now it's just a wait and see. There are a couple other vehicles being floated around out there where the ACP funds could, possibly ride, but yeah, really nothing else for now.
Okay, thank you. And while we're speaking of Congress, Judy, I don't know if you have to leave soon. So do you want to say a few things? Judy is with Senator Mark Kelly's office.
Hi, good morning. So the latest update from our office is they have about 4 avenues that they're working on. The senator did write a bill which is in committee right now, but they don't see that they really feel like it's unlikely to move forward alone. So what they're doing is they're taking pieces of that bill, and one of them, of course, is requiring the social media companies and other companies that will profit from broadband deployment programs, that they have to contribute to a fund. And so there are two things. There's a consensus product that they're working on right now, along with the Commerce Department and also FCC. So they said, they're hesitant right now to talk about the particulars of anything, because they don't want to provide false hope, but they just want the group to know that they're doing everything they can and trying to make contributions there to see how we can extend the fund. So that's it from our office. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Judy. I'm always glad to see you when you can be here.
You bet.
So we appreciate that. Okay, so moving on, we're going to jump into our presentation this morning, and I want to introduce Louis Lujan. Is that correct, Louis?
Yeah, that's correct. Thank you, Steve.
You bet. With CompuDopt, he's the government relations manager, and he and I had a really great conversation, and they're doing some really exciting stuff, and he may have some other information to share. So with that, Louis, I know you sent me your presentation, but do you just want to share it yourself?
Yeah, Steve, and in full disclosure, I do have to hop off in a minute or two, so I'm just going to say a couple of things with regard to, so rather than walk through the presentation, I'll just kind of give a couple of updates, and I guess first and foremost, just introduce myself and talk a little bit about what I do with CompuDopt and what we're currently doing in terms of advocacy and research and so forth. So just by way of introduction, Louis Lujan, that's my name. I'm the government relations manager with CompuDopt. I do the government relations on a national scale, although I am based here in Phoenix. So in that regard, it's somewhat lucky and fortunate for me to be able to join this group and participate. And I guess the one thing that I can just start off with right away is that right at the end of 2023, beginning of 2024, CompuDopt really beefed up, if you will, its government relations efforts. And what that means is that we hired a few individuals, including myself, on the team to focus on government relations on a national scale with regard to what we're trying to do. I mean, things like extending ACP, just addressing these issues in our industry. And as a result, my primary responsibility is government relations in essentially three buckets. One is research. The other is the advocacy component. And of course, the general government relations. And just quickly on each one, because I think, especially with regard to the research and maybe even the advocacy, there's some value added here. First of all, with the research, I'd like to offer ourselves as a resource because we have tons of research that we do, not only on the industry, but just on different issues of the day or trends that are occurring. Or, for example, if somebody needed to know a particular dollar amount allocation in a particular state for a particular program, I mean, whatever it may be, you name it, we do a lot of research. And I find that when I'm doing outreach to whether it's a governor's office in a state or with a legislator or whatever, the issue of research always comes up because I come from a different industry in government relations. And one of the things that's kind of a common denominator, though, across every industry is that there's a lot of information that's just out there, but the difficulty is in getting it all in one place at one time. And that's what we try to do on the CompuDopt side, at least in our government relations teams, take all this information that's out there, put it together in a bite-sized chunk, and then distribute it. So simply put, if there's any data that you may need or thought of or think you might need, let me know because I'm pretty sure we have it. So that's number one. The other one is the advocacy, and you and I talked about this a bit. We're working on a lot of little things, but the biggest thing in terms of advocacy is our effort with ACP. And just to give you a brief update on that, we started well, we didn't really start it. We joined in on a coalition maybe about a month ago or so with regard to
Go ahead, Yvette.
Mary Lisa, could you please mute?
We started off with a group that included ourselves and a couple of private sector companies in an effort to lobby Representative Granger in Texas for various reasons. One, her being part of the Appropriations Committee in an effort to try to get ACP renewed. But the way that we see it currently, in including our private sector partners in this task force, is that ACP is pretty much gone. I mean, it is gone, essentially, is our conclusion. So what we're doing is, rather than trying to, as an industry, advocate for a renewal, we're just looking towards the future. And what that means, we're not quite sure yet, because the group that we're with is still brainstorming ideas. And while I'm not presently at like liberty to disclose the groups, at the private sector groups, I'm sure I will be. So if anyone is interested either in joining or knowing more about that, and our advocacy efforts on a national level, which congressional leaders we're meeting with and so forth, just let me know. And then I can share some updates as we go along. I do know we have our next meeting scheduled, I want to say in a week or so. So I can provide more information on that. But simply put, with the advocacy efforts, that's one of that is by far the biggest issue that we're currently working on. And just two quick things on the advocacy bucket too. We also do a lot of state related work. So we are constantly, and when I say we, it's pretty much just me, meeting with legislators, staff members, governor's office across the country in an effort to educate and advocate. And then finally, just the general government relations component, of course, is becoming members and participants of groups like this. So if there are, like, for example, I heard Maggie mention the task force, things like that, we'd love to be part of. And those are, we do that across the country. But again, I'm lucky to be here in Arizona, in Phoenix. So I have a lot more, I guess, availability, just because of the time zone is the same, to join things like this. So with that said, I do have to hop in a minute, like I said, Steve, but at least I wanted to share a little bit about myself, what we're doing, and offer that as an opportunity for people just to connect. And I do have that presentation, by the way. I think I did email it to you, so you feel free to share it.
Share that
today. Please do. And of course, if there are questions, I'd be more than happy to stick around for a bit.
So Louis, can you maybe back up a little bit and just tell people more about, what CompuDrop is, and, some of the programs that you're doing, because you guys are doing some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, we are. So I'm not sure. I know some of you are familiar with CompuDrop. I'm not sure who is not. I can kind of give you just the brief, I guess 25,000 foot view of what we do. So we were founded in 2007, and we're a nonprofit. And we, look at ourselves as a nonprofit, that offers solutions to the digital divide. I mean, that's the easiest way to describe it. We have a presence here in Arizona, in Mesa, but we also have we're based in Texas, but we also, our solutions rather include device distributions, digital literacy training. We offer classrooms or class sessions. We do a lot to close that digital divide. And I guess the other thing I can just kind of briefly mention is that we are in expansion mode. So as our strategy essentially is, as we enter a state, for example, to do device distributions, it's not just that, it comes with a government relations component. And all these services that we provide around, whether it's device distribution or digital literacy, are offered free at no cost to the state or the local government. And we're able to do that because we have a very strong foundation of fundraising. So that's just, again, that's a very, very brief overview of what we do and who we are.
So Louis, I'm sorry that we got you on so late.
That's okay, no problem.
So I apologize about that, but I think people will be interested in partnering with you. And also, we'll bring you back when you're ready to talk more about the advocacy groups that you're working on, and what you can share to bring you back and share more information about that.
Yeah, that would be my pleasure. And feel free to distribute that the PDF I sent you as well. And I apologize for having to jump, but again, I will make myself available for any follow-up questions or requests.
Okay. Any quickie questions for Louis? So they bring a lot of resources and a lot of experience, and certainly some opportunities for relationships and partnerships. And again, all his information will be included. Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You bet. Thank you. Okay, moving on. John Kelly, are you online? Don't think so. So let's jump up to the State Library. And Holly, are you here? Didn't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. And neither is Megan. They're all at PLA, I think. The Public Library Association meeting happening right now.
Okay.
Anthony, I don't know if you have any updates.
He's here. He is here. So Anthony, anything you want to share?
Hi, good to be your digital inclusion consultant. No major updates. I'll be at the NTTA summit next week. So if anyone is going to be there, come say hi. But other than that, no major updates, Steve.
Okay, thank you, Anthony. And Mala, so you're up.
Yeah, I don't have any major updates. It's been a quiet week after the hectic rush to get the E-rate applications through. So last week was the deadline, March 27th. So this week has been pretty quiet after that. And of course, I share the disappointment. It's kind of sinking in more and more that ACP is dying, and the fact that there were so many households and we put so much effort into trying to push it through must be disappointing for everyone, including me, of course. It is hard to let those people know they have to pay for their internet on their own if they wanted to. So we're going to see a drop, of course, in the number of households that would technically renew after May once they learn that they have to pay for it themselves. But at least we've provided them a taste of what could be if they needed to use the internet. And hopefully that adoption at least has been successful. So I'm trying to see something good, the Pollyanna in me, trying to see that something good came out of it. It has been a Band-Aid, and I hope, we've, something else will come up to fill the gap.
Okay. Thank you, Mal. Anything else?
Nothing else, Steve. Yeah, Rory.
Do you want to announce the E-rate award to CiviQ that you and Milo put together?
Oh, wow. Yes. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, we did do a fiber build out project with CiviQ Library. And this was, you remember, long time ago, USAC actually announced that they would do a match if we had a state match for the non-discounted share. So, libraries or schools that were at 90% discount, if the state put in 5%, USAC would put in another 5%. So the fiber build out to them would be at no cost to them.
Mila, it's not a fiber build out, it's a wireless link build out.
Yes. I was getting to that, saying that this is now technology. No problem. Good that you brought it up. So this was supposed to be just for fiber build out, but then now it is technology neutral, so they can use other technologies, and they're using wireless to wireless network, mesh network. to connect up. Rory, would you be able to talk more about the technology aspect of it?
Probably I designed it, so.
Yes. I know you did. So this is in good hands now. Yeah,
So
go ahead, Rory.
So we're going to build, instead of fiber, which was going to be, my guess is, and I'm estimating this is probably around 10 million or more, and take at least 2 years to do. We've actually built it. We will build a 10 gig link to CiviQ wirelessly with the link coming out of Sholo. So it's already in progress.
Okay. Any questions for Mo?
CiviQ, Gary? How is CiviQ spelled? I've never heard that.
CIBECUE.
CIBECUE.
So we designed it. It's a long range 30-mile, 25 plus mile shot. But we engineered a new 10 gig, a new way to do that with all licensed spectrum and get up to 10 gigabits per second.
Okay. Anything else for Rory? Alrighty. Moving on then. Mike Holcomb, are you still here?
I am.
So Mike, you want to just introduce yourself quickly and give us a quick update?
Sure. Michael Holcomb. I'm the interim director for the Arizona Telemedicine Program at the University of Arizona College of Medicine. Like a few others this morning, not really too many major updates given the frequency of these meetings, but wanted to mention a telehealth technology survey that the National Telehealth Technology Assessment Resource Center is seeking responses to, basically looking to sort of get a feel for trends and what organizations are actually using or practices are actually using in terms of telehealth technology. And then our Arizona Telemedicine Council meeting, upcoming April 17th. I'll put the link in the chat for that. The agenda is posted online now, so it's a public meeting. Everyone's welcome to attend. And I think that'll be it for me today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Any questions for Mike? So Rory, excuse me, I see you sent me a direct message, but you're announcing a replacement for ACP. So do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we've created a program called TAC, Triad's affordability connection. And we don't typically sit around and wait for things a lot. So as soon as we realized ACP wasn't coming back, we have about 100 people on our system that are on ACP. So what we're doing right now is setting up our website to use the same, to qualify people that would be normally using ACP's criteria. If they're eligible, then we'll follow the same guidelines, and Triad will get them connected with the same discounts that ACP would normally provide. All of our customers will automatically be migrated into that, and that gives ACP a chance to get funded again, and gives them some leeway. This is in addition to our Education Everywhere program that we already have in place, which is $10 internet for any child that can't get internet, or his family can't afford internet. So, but we'll open it up on our website here shortly. Probably, I think they're telling me either about Wednesday or Thursday next week, it should be up. So everybody that we have will be eligible for ACP. I'm sorry, will be eligible on our system for that discount. So just anyway, but anybody that's in our zone can be brought into the program. And like I say, we'll have it on our website here shortly.
Okay, any questions for Rory?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Henry.
Yeah, I was just going to ask Rory. So on that program, those people that are eligible for ACP, they would get a $30 discount. So what would they typically what type of service would they get? How much would they have to pay after that?
They can get any of our services and they get that discount. Our lowest cost service is probably gonna cost them $30.
You mean beyond the 30 beyond the 30 subsidy?
The normal package would be 100 meg and it depends on the area, Henry, because we have a micro billing model. We don't have the same price across our entire network. But if they're on their program, it's always 100 meg. So to be ACP eligible, that's where we were partnered with Sun Corridor on a project, and we were told yesterday they're not going to move forward with their initiative in this area. So we're taking the lead on it at this point. And so anybody that's on, like I say, anybody on our system are eligible for those programs. They'll just have to sign up on our website as soon as we have it operational.
Okay, but are you saying, Lori, they get that lowest cost program, they get 100 meg download and they would pay $30 a month after the subsidy that you're giving them?
Yes.
Okay.
Okie doke. Anything else?
Yeah, I had a question for Rory. Rory, would they have to reapply to you, or if they were ACP eligible, would they just show that they were ACP eligible and then you would provide them that service?
Actually, you know what? That's a great question. I hadn't considered that. I would say as long as they're eligible, we'll take them without reapplying to us. Yeah, because there's some kind of number that's assigned to that person from ACP.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We'll be happy to do that. In fact, I think Katrina's on the call and she should be taking notes on this. So I'll make sure that gets added. Thanks, Mala. I forgot about that situation.
Thank you. Really appreciate what you're doing, Rory.
Well, sometimes you can't wait for government, unfortunately.
So Rory, I think you're a good model for what ISPs can do to address a lot of the needs, both in providing the connectivity and what you're trying to do with the ACP replacement and so forth. So really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay. All righty. So Elena, you want to say something about Aiden?
So our next meeting, the Arizona Digital Inclusion Network, for those of you that are new to this call, is an organization. It's a coalition of organizations, really, and individuals from across the state. And so the goal beyond networking is, obviously to advance digital equity across Arizona. We meet every other Thursday. The next meeting is April 11th from 12 to 1. And then at that meeting, we're going to do some member spotlights, allowing, new members to tell us about their organization, their work, current projects, what kind of support they need. And then we are also going to be kicking off planning for Digital Inclusion Week, believe it or not, 2024, which will be in October, October 7th through 11th of this year. So if you'd like to attend the meetings, I'll put the link in the chat or the email address in the chat. And then Cindy Hogan will send you a meeting link. So that's the update, Steve.
Okay, thanks, Elena. Do you have any questions for Elena? Well, I think that takes care of all of our business for today, but are there any announcements? I know there's a lot of stuff's been going in the chat. Any other comments, announcements, questions that people might have? Going once, going twice. Then I believe that we are done for today. I'm going to stop the video, and if anybody wants to hang online and chat for a while, we'll be here. Thank you, everybody. Good to see you, and we'll hopefully see you next week. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Tracy.
I was just saying thank you and have a great
Oh,
day.
okay. Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Hey,
Steve.
Steve,
Thanks,
this
everyone.
is Tamara. Can you hear me? Oh, sorry.
Yes, sure can. Is that Judy?
No, it's Tamara.
Oh, Tamara. Oh,
And
sorry.
hi. I have a quick question, and you may have covered this at the beginning of the meeting, but I arrived late. The thing that's happening next month, the roundtables or in Phoenix and Tempe. So can you give me a little bit of background on that, like how it's going to work? Because we do intend to participate. So I was just wondering if you could give a little more color on that.
You're talking about the digital inclusion that to planning for the conference next year? Is that what you're talking about?
I think
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think you're talking about the state engagement tour. Is that what you're talking about, Tamara? The state broadband?
I'm not sure. It's the thing that's happening in Tempe in May.
Yeah.
Does that help at all?
Tamara, this is Erin. Do you mean next year's net inclusion?
No. I mean the thing happening in May. I was in one of it was linked in one of the in your newsletter, Steve. There was a link to it, and there was a registration. You were looking for sponsorship.
Oh.
I'm not sure.
Or is that next year? Is that next year? Was I reading it incorrectly?
I'm not sure.
I'll take a look and I'll email you about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. Thanks.
Thanks. Okay. Anybody have anything else that they want to chat about?
You're still sharing the screen? I can't see faces. I'm on the mobile, Steve.
Oh,
sorry.
I'm sorry.
I don't know if if it's Kibitz time or
yeah,
where's Paul? Where's Paul Ross?
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while.
I know I've been as absent as he has been. We just finished our data center summit yesterday, and the workforce summit, conference, excuse me, the DICE BizNow Southwest thing. Mark was there. Is Mark on?
Yeah.
See, when the screen's shared, I can't see who's on.
There are 12 people on still.
On the mobile anyway, because I don't have the screen on.
Yep, Kirk. I'm on, and a dozen, including you and I.
Oh wow! Now I can see it. No, Mr.
Peter,
Ross.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while. Peter, good to see you. You got anything? You got so many things going on. You want to share just a little bit?
Yeah. Good to see you, Steve. We are so we're just finished where we've gotten in the upskill
Peter,
program that we're building.
Introduce yourself quickly, please.
Oh, yeah. So I'm Peter Costa. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Balto Technologies. We're a mission-driven company, and our mission is to create alternative pathways to high-skilled jobs. And I guess some of the progress that we've made is that, so we're building out an online curriculum that is aligning with the Fiber Optic Association certifications. And so we're in the process of just finishing up kind of our first level course. And our plan is that we're going to be offering this course